We're here to stay. We're here for you. Choose us in all you do, and you will be super. Super.
Good morning and welcome. Today is Thursday, and if it's not your first time here, you must have an idea of the conversations we have around this time. Tuesdays and Thursdays is our special radio series on ending female genital mutilation in Edo State. My name is Joyce Jukes. This is your one family, one radio station, Super 88.1 FM, and we are continuing our conversation. On Tuesday, just 2 days ago, we had a pastor join us to talk about FGM from a religious angle. Now, if it's your first time here and you're thinking, what radio series is Joyce even referring to? Do not worry, do not fret. I'm going to make sure I catch you up on everything you could possibly have missed. So I want to start things off by telling you what is female genital mutilation. Now, female genital mutilation is the partial or total removal of the external part of the female sexual organ, the genitalia specifically, cutting off the clitoris. Sometimes they go the extra mile of removing the labia, and even in some cases they do a bit of a stitch and leave a small space for the woman or the girl to pee. It's a very treacherous situation. And now there's more to this. You would think to yourself, why is something like this even happening? Well, there are some people who have very strong beliefs about female genital mutilation, or how many people know it, female circumcision. There's a general myth surrounding it saying that women who are not circumcised become sexually promiscuous, they become flirty, they're in the streets. In fact, I had a caller last week who said 99% of women who have ever been separated or divorced was because they were not circumcised. And these types of myths, these types of thoughts are very, very widespread in society, especially here in Edo State. So you can see why conversations like these are very, 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 very important. Now you're thinking, if this thing is not so bad, it's not so disastrous, let's just leave it. It's one traditional aspect, it's one cultural thing. Let's have something. Well, the World Health Organization, alongside UNICEF, have explained and emphasized the dangers associated with things like female circumcision. We have things like excessive bleeding, serious pain. Just last week, a 1-month-old baby in the Gambia died after she bled out due to female circumcision. We have women who have struggles when they want to deliver because the parts of their vagina has been stitched closed. They can't do it. We have people who end up with chronic infections. We have people who struggle with issues with urinating that could be lifelong, and worse, because the sharp object used for this practice are hardly ever sterilized. We can see the transfer of illnesses like HIV, like hepatitis B, from person to person. And now, female genital mutilation is active in different quarters and practiced in different ways. For some people, it is done to baby girls. For some people, it is done to girls that are starting puberty. For some people, it is done before a woman gets married or immediately after she gets married. Now, we did tell you that there are laws, there are rules, that government is heavily involved in ending the scourge of female genital mutilation. And now we have a very special guest who will tell us just how government is doing this. Welcome to our special radio series on ending female genital mutilation in Edo State, brought to you by the Women's Right and Health Project with support from UNICEF Nigeria. Today we are going to be looking at the special role that government is playing using one of our very important ministries. I'm joined by Esosa Onoebamoi, who is a gender and GBV vocal person for the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Happy to have you on the show.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Good morning. Super FM.
Yes.
Good morning, lovely people of Edo State. And I'm thrilled to be here this morning, to talk about what the ministry is doing, what the Edo State government is doing to end female genital mutilation.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to jump right into the very first question. I want to know the nature and the scope of involvement when it comes to female genital mutilation from government's POV.
Okay, thank you once again. She has already introduced me. I want to say first and foremost that the Ministry of Women Affairs, Edo State, has a goal, a vision to provide a safe environment for women, for girls, and for other vulnerable persons, including even persons with disability. And now when you talk about female genital mutilation, it is a global thing because it happens in our communities here in Edo State, and it also other states of the nation, and of course in the international community. That is why so much effort has been put in place by by UN nation organizations such as the UNICEF and the World Health Organization, and down to Edo State. When you talk about female genital mutilation, we see it as government, we see it as harmful practice, and it is a form of gender-based violence. It is infringing on the rights of individuals because the law doesn't support it. So when you carry out circumcision on a girl child, you are going against the law. And as a ministry, our vision, as I've said earlier, is to ensure safety, justice, care for all. So the scope of what we have done so far as a ministry in ensuring protection for our girls against female genital mutilation is to ensure that a law is put in place. Because when there is lack of law, we can do anyhow. But when there is a law, ignorance is no longer an excuse. So in year 2021, the previous administration assented into the VAP law, that's by domesticating it in Edo State, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. At the national level, we have the VAP Act, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. But for that law to be able to be utilized by states have to domesticate them. So one of the mechanisms that the state has put in place to effectively address female genital mutilation is the domestication of the VAP law. And the law has its provisions. I believe we will get to that point during the course of this interaction between us and public. Just as she mentioned earlier, female genital mutilation is not what anybody wants to get their children to be victims of. You have talked about it. You have talked about the effects, the difficulty for some in during labor. We have seen situations where it affects even their ability to urinate. We have seen babies die of circumcision. We have seen situations where they get infected. Babies that were born normal, their blood was clean. You will see situations whereby they get infected with HIV. Both parents do not have HIV, but because of the process of circumcision, the baby girl becomes HIV positive. So there is no positive impact at all when it comes to female circumcision. There is no negative. There's no positive impact. There's no positivity at all. It's all about it in the negative. So that is why, as a ministry, we are ensuring that in protecting our girl child, we want to end completely, not to reduce now. Oftentimes, we want to use the word to reduce. We want to actually bring it to an end. The global community is working to bring it to an end. So Edo State cannot be different. We need to completely eradicate female genital mutilation, otherwise known as female circumcision, because we have discovered that the myth around it, that it will make the girl child to become promiscuous, there is no truism to it, because even the girls that are not circumcised, they are still on the street. So what parents need to do is to give adequate awareness, education to their children, moral guidance to their children. So it's not about mutilating. When you look at the word mutilate, female genital mutilation, to mutilate is to spoil, right? It's to spoil. So the word alone should make parents or those that believe so much in, because it's also a belief system. We have those that really do it. They believe that they have been doing it right from the days of their forefathers. So they cannot stop it now. So those are all beliefs, those are all tradition. But we have discovered there's no positive thing about it. And the law is against it. Government all over the world is against it. So it must be brought to an end.
Right, thank you so much. Now, looking at the government, now, I think it was last week or last 2 weeks, we had somebody who came here last week, from the Ministry of Justice to look at it from the law's perspective. Yes. And she interestingly said that there was also a law in Edo State specially for FGM. I'd never heard that before. Yes. So I was wondering, what ministries are directly involved in this battle against female circumcision?
When you are talking about government ministries that are involved in eradicating or bringing to an end of female circumcision, we talk about Ministry of Justice, we talk about Ministry of Women Affairs, we also talk about Ministry of Health, then we also talk about agencies like SUBEB, Ministry of Education. That's where you have the children at that, because often circumcision is done to babies between from infancy to age 15. Although we also know of some communities where women about to get married are also made to be circumcised. But what is more is the babies to 15. So we have, every ministry have their mandate. Justice have their mandate to prosecute, while the Ministry of Women Affairs, we have our mandate to provide support and to raise awareness. Of course, Ministry of Health, we know they'll have to take care of the medical aspect and all that. For the Ministry of Women Affairs, outside ensuring that the VAP law is fully implemented across communities, we also raise awareness, because ignorance. The Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. Most people are not aware. They are ignorant of the fact that this female circumcision is just a belief from the days of old. They are not aware that there's a law that kicks against it. If a law kicks against an activity, it becomes a crime. That thing becomes a crime. And globally, female genital mutilation is regarded as violation of human rights. Okay? So internationally, it's regarded as such. Also in the States, the VAP law has its own provisions, has penalties for those that carry out female circumcision. And that is why we are here today. Because when the people are aware that there is a law, even in their ignorance, they are not excused when they are caught. So our own as a ministry is to ensure that we investigate when cases are reported, we investigate communities, neighborhoods where these things are prominent. We know it's still going on, despite the fact that there is a law established, despite the awareness that has been raised. We know that circumcision is still going on. How do we know? Annually, the month of February, I think February 6th, is regarded as International Day for Elimination or for Eradication of Female Genital Mutilation. Okay, so and it's a global commemoration. So in the year 2025, that was February this year, we went on a market storm as a ministry to raise awareness, to sensitize the people. And you'll be amazed that while we were in the market, some women still insisted that their children must be circumcised, even in this jet age, that their female children must be circumcised. That what we are just saying, is just the white man way of, coming to deceive them and all that. We now said no. As a ministry, we said no. That's the belief you had, that was transferred to you by your parents, your forefathers, that female genital mutilation, just as you said, in the opening of this engagement, that babies have died, infections, HIV, difficulty, during childbirth. So when you have these negative consequences, there is nothing good about female circumcision, because even those that are not circumcised, they are still on the street, they are still in the nightclubs. So we went ahead to sensitize these women that no, it's a belief, and your belief can actually be changed. Change is a constant thing. It was done in the time past. A change can happen today. So as a ministry, we have our mandate. Every other government agency have its core mandate. Our core mandate is to ensure protection for the vulnerable persons, for women and for girls, and to constantly raise awareness on such topical issues, on such criminal acts, so that people can desist from it. Because when they are caught, whether the ones that are actually in the act of carrying out the circumcision, those that are aiding and abetting, those that take the babies, that hold the babies to be caught, the law will not take their ignorance as an excuse. Last week we had an engagement with community leaders and traditional bed attendants and some other health workers, and we also sensitized them on the need for this crime to be brought to the book. And this is exactly what we also told them, that the law is against it, and we read the penalties out for them, so that in their communities, because community leaders, they are the gatekeepers, and you and I know that people believe so much in their traditional leaders. So when their traditional leaders give a go to something, they'll probably want to do it. So it behoves on us as a ministry to also sensitize the gatekeepers that this thing is a crime, and anyone caught will be brought to the book. And during that engagement, a woman actually, stood and informed the house that when she was growing up, before she started having her children, that she used to be the one to hold the babies while the babies are screaming their life out, being caught. This woman told every one of us, just at that engagement, that so when she saw the pains that babies go through, when she started having her children, and fortunately, fortunately, she has all girls. She said none of them is circumcised. Can you believe that? None of them, because she saw the pains. Probably she didn't know, sometimes because we are not the one directly affected, we just believe that some things can just go, some things can just slide.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious. It's not significant. But now that you now have your own, and God now blessed you with girls, you couldn't afford to allow even one of them to be circumcised. So it's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to be as solution oriented as possible.
Yes.
So seeing in the past weeks that we've been doing this special radio series, I've become so more open eye.
Yes.
I used to always think female circumcision was one of those random old things that used to exist and no longer exists. But we've had so many callers call us to affirm that they have circumcised their own daughters and they will continue doing it as it's a practice. Well, I want to think about, have there been any accomplishments, any successes recorded thus far as the ministry has continued to campaign against this female circumcision?
Yes, to a very large extent. Just as I said earlier, because due to the awareness raising, more people, have more communities have committed, to putting an end to it. I remember last year, because I thought of saying this while I was on my way coming to the station, to this place, that while we were marking the International Day for Ending of FGM 2024, we're actually at the Ego Local Government Council, and we had the traditional leaders in that area, religious leaders, students, market women. And after the program, they all came out and gave a commitment that they must put an end to female circumcision. The same thing we also achieved in the year 2023 when we were in the Ovia Southwest, Igobazua community, to sensitize the gatekeepers and everyone in that community. And they all gave their positive commitment. These are gatekeepers. These are leaders of the people. They gave their commitment. And from statistics, because of course we also go around to monitor, to get statistics, and we have discovered that the statistics coming from that angle on female genital mutilation has drastically reduced. So to us, that's a great achievement. And because we know that globally recognized FGM, not only that is a violation of human rights, it's also tagged as a form of gender-based violence. Okay, so one of the great achievements as a state that we have to share is the fact that we have a GBV center, a one-stop shop to actually provide support services for survivors of FGM. Because just as you mentioned, there can be, health issues when it's carried out on these young girls. And the state government, by establishing the GBV Center, is providing services to survivors. When it happens, such survivors need counseling, they need psychosocial support. So it's a center for them to come, and they are giving these support services and other medical attention, because at the center we have a medical doctor to attend to such issues. But when it's actually on the serious side, of course, they can always escalate to the general hospital. So that's a great achievement. And other achievement is the fact that the state recently set up a steering committee with line ministries. This time around, we know that we have different state ministries and agencies that are linked one way or the other to female genital mutilation. So recently, a state steering committee was set up to actually, not just for data gathering now, to reaching out to areas, but areas that Ministry of Women covers is different from the areas that Ministry of Health will cover. It's different from areas that Ministry of Education will cover. Education will take it down to the schools, to the secondary schools, even to colleges. While SUBEB, State Universal Education Board, will also take it down to the primary schools, because one of the provisions of the law is that female genital mutilation, when you suspect cases, you can actually seek for a protection order.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
If, for example, your neighborhood, things are being said around, going to circumcise a girl, you can actually seek for protection order.
What does that mean, protection order?
When we talk about protection order, I know it's more of justice thing. You can apply for it at the courts.
Okay.
It's an application you request for. For example, you are in an environment where it's being deliberated upon that this guy is growing, we need to go and circumcise her and all that. Because we often hear that, during our engagements, that they planned it, mother-in-law will plan it, before you know it, they will come and all that. So when you get the wing of such information, you can actually take an extra mile to protect that girl child by seeking for protection order from the courts.
Okay.
This protection order, when it's gotten, it can protect that girl by you, safeguarding that girl, we looking into the matter and preventing such parents from actually carrying out that circumcision on the girl.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you did mention the GBV Center and some activities in the central and the state-owned hospital. So I want to find out, how do we locate this GBV Center? This person who's going through this, if they've heard you now, they want to make that first step. Okay. How do we make the contact? Where do we find it? Okay. My people, well done again. The Edo State Gender-Based Violence Center is located in GRA. It's off the Golf Course Road. For those of us that are familiar with Ediale Hospital or the former Onoebamoi Plaza or the vegetable market, is just around that area. The Edo State GBV Center is located directly behind the former Onoebamoi Plaza or beside Ediale Hospital off Golf Course Road, GRA, Benin City. And one of the other achievements I also want to share with my people is that we are also having another GBV center in Edo Central, Edo Central Senatorial District in the community of Uromi. So in another couple of days, that center will be up and running to also provide the services that we currently have at the Edo State GBV Center located in Benin. All right, fantastic. If you just joined us, you've missed a big part of the conversation. We're still on our special radio series in Ending Female Genital Mutilation in Edo State, brought to you by the Women's Right and Health Project with support from UNICEF Nigeria. Today we've been looking at the government involvement in ending female genital mutilation, and we're joined by Esosa Onoebamoi, who is the Gender and GBV focal person for the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. We have about 3 minutes that I can give brief to you. If you have questions, thoughts, or comments to share, would love to welcome it. 0705 512 9881. 0705 572 7881 and 0902 672 2592. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah, this will be calling from Mission Road Market.
Happy to have you on the show. Please go ahead.
Yes, you know what? Change is a constant phenomenon. You know, when we discussed last week, I told you, no, this week, I told you that I'm in support of it based on tradition. And what I enjoy within your area in the early 70s, when we dance to the market, Oyugo, all those type of something. But now I've changed. I asked my stepmothers how they did theirs lately. He said theirs is not cutting off the clitoris, but just scraping it a little bit. Just scraping. You use a sharp object to scrape. But I asked my daughter how far. He said there's no mutilation as far as her daughters are concerned. So I've changed now, and I want to support that crusade. So that's my comment this morning.
Thank you so much, Obioma. It's a change because just on Tuesday he was in support of it, and between Tuesday and Thursday he says he has done his personal research. I like to hear things like this. It just gives us the confidence that we are reaching the people that we do want to reach. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling us from, please?
My name is Bella. I'm calling from Benin.
Okay, welcome, Bella. Please go ahead.
Please, I didn't follow you one time, so I want to know what's the circumcision.
Okay, thank you. Just stay on the line. I'll explain it for you. Stay on the radio, rather, so I don't, eat your airtime too much. All right, so circumcision is usually, for the male, it is the removal of the outer layer towards the end of the genitals. Now, this could have health benefits like removing that foreskin will help that not storing dirt inside the foreskin, preventing some infections, and in some cases, some have claimed that it would increase sexual pleasure for the man. In the female aspect, there's no foreskin to remove. So usually you would see the cutting off of the clitoris or the removal of some parts of the labia. So that is what circumcision can look like for different genders. Now, I'm not a medical professional, so obviously they are more detailed in this. This is just the layman aspect. So I hope that could help to give you a bit of explanation. Hello, good morning. Hello, are you there? Good morning. Hello, good morning. Oof. All right, hello, good morning. Oh no, the line is bad. Maybe you could call me back, please. Hello, good morning. What's going on?
Hello, good morning, Joy.
Good morning and welcome. You're my final caller. Please, you have 1 minute. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Edu from Benin City. I want to thank you very much for this advocacy you are doing.
Thank you.
And the lady there that you brought in to speak has really done justice.
Thank you.
In fact, I have been informed by her presentation this morning.
Lovely.
And I believe that most Nigerians, especially Edulite, would have been informed in this detailed manner as well.
Thank you. So
firstly, part of the solution I think that we can do to tamp it out, totally eradicate it, is from the point of birth. Once children are born in any hospital in Edo State, I don't know if they can make this a law. What should be done, what I feel should be done is they should give them a form, a bond form to fill. I mean the parents, whether the man or the woman, they should fill a bond form, never to inflict such mutilation on any of their female children. And how they can monitor this is by the time these children are being brought back for immunization, what they should do first is to check for that. If that is done, then you get the parents arrested.
That's interesting.
That's where you will stamp it out, because we really don't know about where Nigerians really don't care much until somebody is shown used as a scapegoat.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Ma, please go ahead. Our time is completely done, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes, I know that what he just said, I wanted to react to it.
Yeah.
When you match out penalty punishment to perpetrators.
Yes.
It served as a deterrent. Okay, so because they mentioned about being used as scapegoats and all that. Yes, it actually served as a deterrent.
Yes.
Then secondly, circumcision is mostly done by traditional bed attendants.
It's not in the hospital.
Yes, it's not in the hospital because the hospitals know that they are professionals. They know what the law says about it. So our awareness, our sensitization programs, our advocacy is actually geared towards these people that do it in rural communities. It's not something they do in the open. Okay, it's something they do in the secret. So we need to raise more awareness on this.
All right.
Yes.
Well, our time is completely fast, but the phone lines are still going off. Maybe one day we'll just be calls will just come in and we'll just have that big conversation. And if you're wondering, this fantastic woman giving us this information, who is she? Well, she is from the Gender and GBV Department of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. She is the focal person for gender and gender-based violence. Her name is Esosa Onoebamoi. And yes, we're talking about the ministry here in Edosa. As you can see, they're doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for joining us today. And of course, we cannot leave the show without giving a special thanks to the people who are making this particular program happen. And they are the Women's Rights and Health Project. And they've received support from UNICEF Nigeria in a bid to end female genital mutilation in Edosa. Now, you have the opportunity to either head down to the GBV Center here in Benin City, in GRA, around Vegetable Market, around Golf Course Road, to make your thoughts known, to let them know that, oh, this thing is happening, what can we do? Or you can just put a call through to RAP. The numbers are 0701 194 8577 or 0913 520 5119. My name is Joyce Jukes. This is your One Family, One radio station, Super 88.1 FM. Stick around. The switch continues in a moment.
There I go.
Super 88.1.
Coming up, Lega and the crew on the Super Waka Waka show from 3 p.m. The EPS show up from 7 p.m. and Cruise Unlimited on the cruise control. But right now,